Oh yeah, sorry, I had to start recording as well. But yeah, if not unmute, you can also use the chat box. Are you new to WhatsApp chatbots? You can maybe respond with a yes or a no. Okay, so there's Naveen, who's a long time Glyphic user. Thanks, Naveen. Um, okay, regardless, there are some new orgs here. So hopefully this one, the next few slides give you helpful information. So about Glyphic, Glyphic is a platform which is a registered digital public good. About 150 NGOs have used Glyphic, and about close to 120 are actively using it as we speak. With the use of platform, those about all these NGOs have combined at a reach of about 1.5 million users through WhatsApp, and it covers about 9 sectors. That's about the orgs. These are some orgs that you may or may not recognize. Maybe some of them are your peers, some of them are in the same sector as you folks. So covers a wide variety of sectors, but yeah, majority of the orgs do come from education sector. So because it started off as a tool to engage students during Glyphic. So that's because of the origins. There's lots of orgs who work in the education space. Essentially, the idea of a WhatsApp chatbot and utility of Glyphic is it helps nonprofits who have mostly non-tech folks who are not very tech friendly. So it's a no-code, easy to create chatbot platform. With this, you can create timely, personalized content delivery to all your end users. Run programs in an automated way. Programs could be education programs, getting young people to engage, getting students, parents, health workers, frontline workers, any of your communities to engage with your program. Record data, send them reminders, do a bunch of other automation, connect, share them information from your other LMS or any other type of system, automate yeah, FAQs, counseling, create helpline like flows on WhatsApp, conduct trainings, and gather feedback around about your information about your programs. So that's essentially like the broad buckets about in a way that how nonprofits are using WhatsApp chatbots. Maybe some of your use cases fall into intersection of a couple of these use cases, but that's how mostly nonprofits are using it, which is kind of slightly pretty drastically different from how for-profits use it, which is mostly for customer engagement, sending updates about the things that you have ordered, or getting you back into ordering new stuff from them.
ବିପି ଏ ବିପି ତାର
Um,
କାଇଁ ଫକୀର
I'm
ମୋହନ କାଇଁ କଲନି ଲଢେଇ
just gonna mute.
କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି ଫକୀର ମୋହନ କୋଉଠି
Um,
ଶୋଇଥିଲ
okay, sorry. Um, okay. Sorry, I just had to come back to mute because switch. Um, can you see my screen now? Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. So that's just how WhatsApp engages. There's a quick video about organization called TAP.
They just can't hear the audio on the video.
Yeah, just essentially that's how the chatbot works. This is like a quick demo. I'm slightly struggling to figure out how to share the audio. but it's like a interactive way of getting responses. So, and you can select like how options come. Based, yeah, like so, it's just the way a chatbot works. All these things can be automated in the backend, and yeah, essentially, just like a quick demo of how chatbot works, in case anyone of you didn't know about it. I'll quickly go ahead. Glific is right for NGOs who have already done some experiments with WhatsApp, have more than 500, 300 to 500 end users that you're engaging, um,
Found
have
in your
regular touch
account.
points in your programs with your beneficiaries, and
Download.
you need to get information from your beneficiaries at regular points. And what we usually say is, for where we have seen NGOs succeed in using chatbots is where the chatbot complements their on-ground programs, like in-person programs as well. And also, like, nonprofits who have team members who are slightly tech inclined, they don't really need to be tech, fully tech folks, but who have the inclination to use, learn, and understand new technology, and probably have the funds to manage the platform. So these are like some basic criteria where nonprofits who have these things have been able to experiment, iterate, and then create meaningful programs using chatbots and scale their work. Um, I will, yeah, I think just like now, I mean, also depends a lot on your imagination. So, um, whatever you try, if you think of doing it at scale, then you have to kind of figure out a different way of doing things when you have to do it at scale, and digital tools is some things that comes in handy in doing this. If you have any questions about this, we can quickly take questions, or you can make a note of this email ID, info at Glyphic, and one of our sales biz dev folks can have more communication with you. Uh, you can reach out to this, yeah. So I'll wait for a couple of minutes in case anyone has questions. Otherwise, I'll go into the demo part of this conversation. You can let me know if you have no questions by typing no questions, and then we can move on.
Yeah, hi Tejas. Can I
Yeah,
know more about pricing?
sure. So there are two major components to pricing. So Glyphic has a monthly subscription fees that you have to that we charge NGOs. This is about 17,000, I think 17,000 inclusive of taxes. And we do like a pricing of quarterly and yearly, and then there are some benefits on taking longer subscription. So that's like a fixed component of pricing. And the second component is the messaging charges. So every message that so there are certain charges of sending out broadcast messages to your beneficiaries. So those charges are then paid directly to Meta. So that depends on how much messaging you end up doing. There's a pricing calculator on the Glyphic website, which can help you to get a ballpark sense of how much your messaging cost will come up to. So the pricing of using a chatbot would ideally, technically, be the subscription fees of Glyphic plus the messaging cost. Those are like the two major cost components, and there's another one which is like we use Google Cloud Platform as a platform where all your once you have a chatbot, then you have all your beneficiaries' data that's coming in. So the Google Cloud Platform is also a minor cost component, but right now, yeah, not to confuse you, but like these are the two major cost components.
Thank you.
Um, was your question answered? I think Aishwarya, if you can also share the pricing link over here, I think
Yeah,
someone might find
it's
it
already
useful.
there on the chat.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, I'm in another chat.
No, no issues.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you, Aishwarya. Yeah, so thank you, Sneha. Any other questions? Any from any new orgs, if you have any any different questions, anything you might want to find out. There's also like orgs who have been using chatbot for a while over here, so maybe they'll also be able to like chip in. If not, yeah, Sneha shared her email ID and you can feel free to connect with her. I'll move on to the certificate, I mean like the feature showcase that we wanted to do in today's session. I'll move on to that part of the webinar now. So let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So this webinar is also doing a showcase of one of our features. It's called, we call it this custom certificates, but think of it as a as a like ability to send any personalized badges, certificates, or giveaways to you beneficiaries at scale, as a way to drive some sort of extrinsic motivation, give them a sense of the bigger picture that they are part of, and show them in the bigger picture where they stand and what is their contribution been, what's their progress been. So, so the idea is like NGOs engage 1,000 to 10,000 to sometimes 100,000 beneficiaries through their programs. It becomes difficult over a period of time to continuously keep people engaged without there's like a there's like a pros and cons when you engage lots of people like this and you create automated workflows. The workflows do tend to become slightly robotic, so it's not very easy to always write content, create flows that are sounding very very friendly, very human like. And after a course of, like after a duration of like engaging with a chatbot for more than 6 months, 7 months to 1 year, um, we will people tend to also like lose interest and engagement. So this is a way for NGOs to also like create something personalized so that the beneficiaries at an individual level have something that they can showcase, share it over WhatsApp, share it as status, share it as something that they got as a result of engaging with the chatbot, and which is something really personal to them. So it's an idea taken from one of our orgs called Udyam and Reap Benefit. So they both have done implementations of it in different ways. Both of them engage young people. So using something like this is a really good way to engage young people, especially, but also many other folks. So in today's session, I'm going to talk about how this feature works, how this can be set up. I'll quickly do a live demo. I'll talk about some limitations, and then we can take the questions. At any point, if you have questions, feel free to also just use the chat box and put it out, and then we can also address them towards the end. So just to share about this feature, we had released this as a beta feature with some of our orgs and also tried this internally. And this is like one of the implementations that we had done. So imagine there was there were like different team members of within our own project tech for dev team. We distributed ourselves into teams, and we were every day recording how many steps we took. And different people, like maybe 3, 4 people belong to a same team. And at the end of every day, we would record the steps. And at the end of every day, we would get, based on the team number, based on our team and the total steps recorded by each team, we would then be able to create something like a leaderboard, which then was sent to all the team members. So this was done, like this was a dynamic leaderboard that we were able to create, even though we hadn't thought of it as a leaderboard type of like feature. But the leaderboard is essentially just a collection of names and sharing it in order. So with some amount of tweaking, we were even able to do this type of implementation, which pretty much like picks up the team names dynamically and like the total number of steps, and present it in this way. So that was one of the examples of implementation that was in the last 2 months. And another example is about or called Saturday art class. So they engage. Yeah, but before I go ahead, does anyone have any questions on this one? Like, if something is confusing, I'll pause here for a second.
So, Tejas, it can read real-time data from your database and create a leaderboard.
So essentially, yeah. So the data, yeah, like so if the database any exposed APIs.
Hmm.
So the Glyphic can be used to call those APIs and like if the response from the API is structured in a way, structured in a simple way, it can then be fed into this another webhook which generates this type of certificate, this type of leaderboard. So or like so that is one way, but then also like if there's like a Google sheet which has this information, so that Google sheet can be read as a source of information, source of data, and then from that Google sheet can be used to create like a leaderboard of this style. Essentially, it's like a Google slide template. Essentially, this is what it is, which is just I can explain how it works under the hood, but then it's
So I'm
just
just
possible to
asking
tweak it.
if we expose an API from the database and give
Yeah.
it relevant attributes, it can read in real time and generate leaderboard. That's what we are saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So sorry, this became slightly more technical, but essentially, for those folks who are non-tech, you don't have to worry about most of these things. There are very low tech or no tech solutions that can be employed by using simple Google Sheets or using Google Slides format, Google Slide templates, Google Sheet templates. So using many such simple tools, we can create something which can work at scale. Okay, another implementation was done by Saturday Art Class. Saturday Art Class engages lots of teachers, for example, like teachers all across Nagaland, government schools in Nagaland to do art programs, and they have a they have a as a part of this program, they are supposed to do 14 art class, 14 classes with their students, for which for each content, for each class, they get a PDF, which gives them instruction on what to do in the class. So as a midpoint of the program, the Saturday art class, so they used it as a Saturday art class used this similar feature as a way to give an update in a slightly more artsy way. They could have given the same update as a message, like, hey, this is the progress, this is your progress, which has, so number one will have the name of the teacher. Number two will have, you have a total of you have complete total of whatever. Like, so number two will have the art class plan that each teacher has completed. And then this gives them an indication of, okay, like if you have completed 3 art class plans, you have like you have like 7, like 11 more art class plans to go. It's like as a visual way to kind of like because the program is about like 7-8 months long, like a year long, like an academic year round program. So just things like this which kind of like bring the motivation, bring the focus back on these extracurricular things that the teacher has to do, which otherwise will be very mundane and which otherwise will feel very draining for the teachers. So, so this is one of the other stories of how this was implemented. Also, I'll pause here if you have any questions. Um, if not, then I'll go ahead. But I'll just pause for a minute. These were just 2 examples. We can think about other examples of how things can be done, and this is just one specific feature showcase. There are other things that can be done, which we can talk about later. But yeah, so how this works, how this feature works is we so wherever Glyphic uses something called as flows. So you create flows. In the flows, we can use webhook node. So which and before we create the webhook node, we can have like a simple Google Sheet, sorry, Google Slides template which has these values as I've shown over here. Sorry, as you can see, this is like a Google slide template, and these values like 1, 2, you can add as many values as like as many values as you want. So these we can call it as variables. So you can keep some text area for variables, and then it'll plug in. What will happen is like this is the variables can be plugged in based on the results in the conversation or from the values that the contact has already added before, or like based on the journey of the contact. So essentially, and then it can create like a specific badge or a template, badge or a certificate, give for a particular contact. So essentially, that's how this works. There's a there's a slide template that you can create. That template is then, like just modified for each contact and sent it as a image to them. Yeah, without going further into detail, but there's like a few high-level steps that need to be done from an NGO's perspective. Like, so this is suited for NGOs that are already using. So now this content, the one which I'm talking about, is more targeted to those folks. This is a new feature that we have introduced, and right now it is still it is not available for all to use. So some of you who joined the previous beta showcase may have it. Some of you may not have it. So in case you want to try this out, you can reach out to us. We are hoping that by the end of this month we can release it for all, so that everyone is able to use it. But essentially, you have to enable Google Drive API, Google Slides API. This has to be done from your Google Cloud project, and generate a new service account. The steps for these are mentioned in the documentation, which you can then refer. And then in Glyfic settings, you have to just activate the Google Slides provider. So this is essentially in a new settings will be added in Glyfic providers tab, and you can activate this slides provider as well. Once you have done this, then it's about just importing a design template. So I know like many of us, let me know if you're able to see my entire screen with like a bunch of tabs open. I'll just show you how it can be done in real time, setting up a template.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So essentially, like many of us, like Canva is the most easiest and I think most widely used design platform. So what we can do is create any template on Canva, something like this, and you can download it as a as a PowerPoint. Um, Once you download it as a PowerPoint, um, yeah, then essentially like so how we have enabled this is by using Google Slides API. So right now Canva templates won't work, so you'll have to export the template as a PowerPoint and then import it by going into file, import slide, and then yeah, selecting a file from your wherever whatever you downloaded the PowerPoint file, and then you can use this as the template. So that's the steps you'll have to do to kind of like set up the Google slide, or you can also like directly create in Google Slides, but Google Slides essentially is not very not the best in terms of like the design things that you can do. But essentially like this pretty much copies similar to like 95% similar to what you have. Yeah. So like this is what it looks like in Canva, and this is what it looks like on Google Slides. And this is what this something of this will be like then exported to image, and that will be actually sent to the user. So that's the setup step. Like once you have this, then so this becomes a step one of setup. Like you have the design inputted on Google Slides, and you have to provide the editor access to the client email ID. So again, like without going too much into detail, essentially like one Google service account is going to come and make changes to this one too. So you have to give editor access to one of the, like the what we say as the service email ID. The details are mentioned in documentation. It's just um for the step I'm just like mentioning it over here. And then you take the URL. So essentially, like, so the one thing to know about the design template is whatever you can enter as many variables. You can enter as many variables as you like, and all those variables are something which can then be replaced into any of the content that you want to transfer on those variables. So just some things to ensure is like ensure there's enough text area, like to accommodate, if you expecting someone's name to be printed over here. And like so keep the text area wide enough so that the entire name is printed in one line. It doesn't like do things like that. So just like some formatting issues you can keep in mind, and make sure you can, like you have in Google Slides, you can vary the aspect ratio. Usually, like these aspect ratios, if you do a simple Google search, you can find what are the best aspect ratios for like portrait, landscape, or badges, or like square aspect ratios, and then so that it becomes like at least aesthetically slightly pleasing for your users to get. Yeah, so these are the things I just explained. That's how you can import the slide, and then you have to import the design template on Glific. So once this feature is enabled, a new tab appears on your Glific page. It'll be called certificates. So from here, you can create a certificate, and then this allows for you to give it a name and paste the URL that you have, URL of the slides template that you have. Yeah, essentially, once you do that, then comes the main part of the flow and about how to use it in the thing. But before I go ahead, does anyone have any questions on up till here? So far I've just explained about like how you can set up the like get the settings right and then import the first template.
So Tejas, basically for the certificate generation, the Google Cloud is to be used,
Yeah.
specifically the slides, and the data will be read from whatever database or from Google Sheet or from any other uploads that we want to do, correct? Collections we want to create.
Yeah. So the data to be printed on this thing, right? Like in these variables.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll get to that part. I'll get to that part. So yeah, but essentially so then it comes to like configuring the flow bit. So now I'll get to that bit. Yeah. So just to give you an example, like I'll just do a preview of this one that I've done. So I'm just asking, like, again, this is like a sample flow. So it's asking me, what's your name? So I just entered my name, enter your designation, Chief Officer at Glific. So that's my designation, and yeah, now it's gone to this part of the flow. And as you can see, then I have this certificate. So where my name got printed, my designate, yeah. So just because I had programmed it such a way that my designation, whatever I had entered, got printed, and the today's date got printed, as you can see. So I'll just tell you how this was done. So basically, this node. So the first two nodes is just like asking for my name and waiting for the response. So this result name is capturing my name, whichever I entered. This result name is capturing my designation. So these two are captured from what I entered earlier. Again, this is right now just in real time, and then I have to then basically like I use this node called call a webhook. In that, there's a function called create certificate. So this can be enabled for all orgs, and based on that, I have to like pass three values. One is certificate ID. So certificate ID is from the certificates page. So like when you add new certificate, and ID for that certificate is generated. So you can just copy from the certificate page over here when you add a new URL. And then depending on how many variables you have supplied into the thing, you can pass a parameter called replace text. And then you can so in one, I have asked it to replace it with result.name. In two, I've asked it to replace it with results.designation. So these things I've already asked. What I can also do is I can always just say Glyphic uh, test demo, whatever. So if I just pass this, then it will always print this instead of the first one. Or like, let me just change this, and maybe I can change the third one. Thank you. All the best. Yeah, sorry. So essentially that's how this works. Um, and these parameters, right? Like so these parameters, whichever the replace texts that are there, these things can either be then taken from present flow or contact variables, or these can be hard coded values like this. Or if you have any other like database or any other like systems that you think it needs to get information from. Before this, you can do like you can do another API call, like you can do another call of webhook node and get the responses, and then pass the responses that you get from that API into this function body. So multiple ways that can be done. Or you can have like a Google Sheet link, read from Google Sheet node before this, and read the things that you want to print on this thing from that Google Sheet. So that is essentially that's one of the way things that can be. Otherwise, I mean, right now I think I'm going fairly complicated, so I'll pause for a minute and I'll just show you a demo of how without, even though, yeah, no, like I'll just see when I made this thing as thank you all the best, it should ideally change um, in the certificate. While this happens, I can also take any questions. Yeah. So as you can see now, instead of 3, it just printed thank you all the best. And obviously there was a formatting issue because like right now it kind of like is like this. So I have to just like change this, edit in such a way that I'm anticipating the right thing to print. Yeah, so pausing here for a minute. If you have any questions, I can take it. If you found this confusing, if you want me to like go over it again, I can do that as well. If you got any ideas, if you want to explore some sort of use case, open to conversing about that as well. Maybe I'll just pause for another minute or like 30 seconds and then we can resume. Feel free to ask any questions. I think no question is big or
Oh,
small or yeah.
hi, Tejas. I'm Ragi here from New Foundation.
Yeah. Hi,
Uh,
Nurag. How are you doing?
good, good. Uh, Tejas, I think I
Hmm.
have understood the flow part of it. So I'm
Hmm,
not,
hmm,
I didn't understand the
hmm, hmm.
cloud related thing fully. Uh,
Got.
I think I'm not sure how the cloud Google Slide thing is visible in that thing. So if you can explain that.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. So I'll try to explain that. Essentially, okay. Let me just go to the documentation. So you know how like have we when we use write to Google Sheets, what happens is like what happens is when you call the write to like you call link to Google Sheet node, right? And then you pass certain parameters from your Glyphic flow, and that writes to the Google Sheet,
Yes.
right? And in order to do that, basically how we are able to do that is by when in Glyphic, in your Glyphic platform, you have the Google Sheets integration enabled, Okay, from this account, I don't have the access to the providers, but you know that Google Sheets account, like you have to have your Google Cloud Storage enabled. You have to have the Google Sheet account enabled. Google Sheet,
Yeah.
matlab like Google Sheet. Essentially, what you have to do is Google Cloud is like the you can think of Google Cloud Storage, Google Cloud Studio as the architect or like the orchestrator, and this orchestrator has like different arms, so it can either tell Google Sheet to do something, it can either tell Google Slides to do something using the APIs. So you can enable these APIs on your Google Cloud Storage account. It's just like a search and enable, like a very simple, like just a checkbox kind of a thing. So if you go to your Google Cloud project and you search for Google Slides API in the search this thing, you will just get this option called enable. So these are some things you have to do. Essentially, what is happening is like how in Google Sheet we can pass when we pass the parameter from our flow, it writes it to Google Sheet. Similarly, what we are doing is Google Slides may we have created this type of text, right? Like curly braces one, curly brace two, curly brace. So so once we have the setup done, what we are doing from Glyphic is we are calling the Google Slides API, and we are passing from our webhook कि one की जगह you print this instead. Two की जगह you print some other value which is stored in the results part of it. And since Glyphic already uses all the Google Cloud ka things, so it was easiest for us to do in Google, like using Google Cloud, because all the NGOs already have a Google Cloud account. They have like they have the like the service account enabled, which writes to their Google Sheets. So similar thing can be used to write into this Google Slides. So essentially that's like a very simplified way of I'm trying my best to explain it. I hope you got it, Anurag.
I did. Pages. I think I have some idea about it now. Thank you.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, happy to explore a use case with you. Maybe like that will be of slightly more help because at the implementation bit we can help with that. But if there's like a use case in your mind about how you can engage maybe your water champions, that who and or like Jal Doots or any other those type of persona, about like just giving them info about like how well they have engaged or how they stand as compared to other in like other Jal Doots or like other of your beneficiaries, like that would be a decent way to think about it.
Yeah. I think some of the ideas are right now also popping up in my mind. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll connect for that.
Yes. So, just a few, I'll quickly go ahead in interest of time, and also feel free if you have any questions. Um, just like some things that while, like obviously like this is a demo, so I've tried this a couple of times. So I was prepared, but essentially like there are some things where, like some checks you have to do. Right, like so make sure like there's a slide that the design template, like the URL of the Google slide template should not end with id.p. This happens in sometimes, and there's a way to solve this, and the details like we have put it in the documentation so you can read that. It's fairly easy to do. But wherever you're adding the Google slide template, it should be in the right drive, like the drive in your Google Drive of your organization. It should have, don't store it in your drive of some other personal email ID. It should be on your like NGO's drive. And yeah, the other thing is like whatever your these are like flow level checks. Okay, how do I get escape? Yeah. Because we are sending because we are sending these variables through the webhook, right? So just make sure that these variables actually exist for someone that you're sending the template to. So these variables like results.name, result.designation. So you can use any other variables that you have, but like just making sure that this exists. So there's a expression that you can employ, and this is something that we have shared on the documentation. I don't want to make it complicated right now, but yeah, so that is another thing that you like, like that we can't check as a from the system itself. So that's something that you will have to keep in mind. And yeah, make sure that like whatever number of variables you include on your template, it has to match the number of variables you send from the flow. So all those kind of like basic things, which is like basic testing, is something that you can do. Then from a backend perspective, like from your database perspective, like two new tables will get added. One will have all the certificate templates, like all the templates that you have added in your Glyphic. And second will have issued certificates. That means it will give you an idea of about how many folks have got that particular certificate. So just so that you are able to kind of keep a track of, suppose you wanted to, suppose suppose you kind of use the certificate also as a milestone as a part of your program, like, like someone who finishes X number of your interactions. After X number of interactions, they get a certificate or they get like a badge. So, so you can then refer to this issued certificate table to kind of also see how many folks reach that milestone, how many folks this certificate was delivered to, and all those things. So this tried in a way to simplify analysis of data related to certificates. This could have otherwise been done at a flow level, but this is something we introduced to simplify the analysis. But yeah, overall, those are the major things about this feature. Once again, this feature is right now not enabled for all. So if you're interested to try this out, you can let us know in today. You can let me know today, and I can enable it. And also, we are planning to release it for all by the end of this month.
They just want to test it out for re-benefit, if you can enable it for re-benefit.
For re-benefit, it's enabled already.
Enable, na? Wanted to check one thing, the one use case. So we were trying to get real-time updates
Yeah,
to the young member through the Sol Ninjas, right? So
yeah,
can we use this feature now, certificates in case of, for example, if somebody does an action and updates in their profile, can
yeah.
we can do a real-time API connect with data with Frappe, and immediately a certificate can be sort of triggered, right?
Yeah, that can be done. Yeah, I mean, I can chat with you about re-benefit separately also, because I think what re-benefit already has is like a slightly more advanced version of this, in a sense that you're able to send them, like you're able to record their entire history of interactions. So this will just be like at an individual level. So I can chat with you more
Let's
since,
chat offline once. I wanted to do a couple of things.
yeah,
We are testing out a couple of things, so let's connect once, huh, on what.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can connect with you about re-benefit. Yes. Yeah, I'm happy to take more questions. We have about like 10 minutes. There's one more thing that we like to mention. But yeah, maybe like if there are no questions, then we can go into that bit. So yeah, just pause for questions. Maybe give 10 seconds. Nikita, for your question, like you can send badges. So you just have to like make the aspect ratio square, just like, and make a kind of an appealing badge on Canva design, whatever. And yeah, follow the similar process. I think what I can do is I can enable the feature for you so that it becomes available, and then you can try it out, and you can come on Discord if you need any further help. But yeah, the thing would be like start with, like just, I mean, like something that you'll have to determine is when a volunteer completes number of sessions. So how will you determine that? Like, is that being captured at the flow level, or is it coming from some other database that you have? So If you have the list of volunteers or like like people who are at a certain level already, yeah, like if you have that list or if you have them in a collection, then it's the easiest thing to do. But like the tougher part here would be like how will you determine how that. Yeah, yeah. Just move them to a particular collection so that, and then yeah, and then figuring out also like what is like one is we're able to create personalized badge, but then apart from name, what is something that you can actually personalize about them? Is there something, like is there something that they have done in their session which can then be called out? Or is there something that they have, like are they standing out in a larger crowd somewhere? So like, I mean, that's something also something we can think through, but yeah. Um, Yes, yes. So I'll enable this immediately after this session for you folks. But yeah, yeah. Um, okay. Thank you, Naveen. Yeah. I'm sharing the documentation, Anurag. It's you can find it under product features and custom certificates. That's the documentation. Okay, so if there's no further questions, like you can also use it in chat box. But yeah, I'll hand it over to Tanu. She has like a few, she had like an interesting initiative she can share about before we end the call. Yeah, go ahead, Tanu.
Thank you for the beautiful session, Tejas. Am I, like, just confirm, am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
Tanu, go ahead.
Thanks for that. So yeah, I mean, first of all, hi everyone. So this is Tanu from the Glyphic team. A very quick intro about myself. So I've recently joined the team as a product analyst a little over a month ago. And so I would like to just take a moment to share this new initiative that we have launched that might be relevant maybe to some of you. So we're calling it the Glyphic Restart Cohort. So this is a program that is specifically designed for NGOs who have previously started their journey, their chatbot journey with Glyphic, but had to pause it for like various reasons, like, right, maybe say your original POC moved on, or you couldn't find the right use case after the initial pilot, or perhaps you were looking to build stronger or greater internal capacity around flow creation, or maybe chatbot workflows in general, right? So if your organization has a chatbot implementation on the roadmap for the next maybe 12 months, this is a great opportunity to get on board with the restart cohort. A very short intro about some logistical info. So this is a 6-week free of cost and a fully online program. It'll include weekly sessions, live sessions, webinars that will be tailored to the cohort's specific needs, or like the NGO specific needs, post which there will be hands-on tasks. I would not call it assignments, but like tasks that will help you apply the learnings that you've come through from the webinars, and you'll also receive personalized support through the office hours that would be planned, right? So we'll be working closely with one or two dedicated POCs from the NGOs who would be onboarded on cohort. And yeah, it's that said, so this would be like a comprehensive yet a hands-on program. So if you're able to commit say 4 to 5 hours a week, and you have the leadership's approval, we would love for you to sign up using the interest form. I am just putting the link to the form on the sheet. You can go ahead and fill in basic details, that will just help us curate how we want to pass on the information in the cohort, right? So I will be just putting up the link to the interest form. And additionally, if you wish to read more about what the program is about, and what is it that NGOs can get out of, so I'll be also sharing another link which NGOs can refer to. And yeah, having said this, I'll also put down my email ID, so in case if you have any questions, you can write to me on the same, right? So I'll just put all that across in the chat box right now. So yeah, that was a short announcement from my end. In case of any questions, you can pause or over to you, Tejas.
Yeah,
I'll just
thank
put
you.
down the links.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the opportunity for any angels who feel like they're stuck and or like want to try new things, or like even think about it as like if you have like new team members who are keen to try new projects using Glific, but they need slightly more hands-on support. So something like that, you can reach out. Yeah, with that, I think we are at today's session's end. Um, 1 second. I think I'll just start the feedback. So if you can share your feedback in the last 2 minutes, and then feel free to drop off. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'll share my email ID so that we can.
Yeah, Gulshan. Just to answer your question, we've received the response. We will get back to you in the next 1 to 2 days, right? With any possible next steps. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. A feedback form should be online for you folks right now. You can please fill your feedback, share us your feedback, and yeah, we can then close the session.